tell me some stories.
But I told them all in the car.
No, tell me about when when Shari when Shari got her bedroom set.
Oh, when they went with the canopy?
Yeah.
Oh, she went with your dad to get he took her to Hudson's, and so to pick out what she wanted. And when she got back, I said to her, Shari, did you get the bedroom set? She says, Norm didn't say no. So that was it.
So she got the bedroom set then, huh?
She got it. The canopy she wanted. Yeah, that's a good story. He wants to get in on the act too. Danny! Oops.
I have to think of the next story to tell. How about? Oh, I know. Your first orange.
Oh,
I like that one.
well, I was just about 6 years old, and I used to get a penny for running grocery shopping for the lady next door. And I finally had 4 cents saved up, and I went to the grocery and I bought a great big orange for that money, and I hid it in the house, and then the next day I took it to school for recess, but I couldn't wait until recess, so I started peeling it underneath the desk, and the teacher smelled it up in front, and she walked the corridor between the seats and then stopped. She says, take that orange and follow me. I followed her, and I had to throw it in the wastebasket, and I can still hear the bump when it hit the bottom of the wastebasket.
You never got to eat that orange.
No, I didn't get a slice of it.
I think of that story every time I eat an orange.
Yeah, it was a tremendous orange, and but guess I didn't deserve it. So.
Dad had a rabbit at one time.
Oh yeah, Grandpa brought the rabbit home. Somebody had a rabbit farm, and he gave him one. And he gave it. He wanted it for a pet for Norm. And so we fed the rabbit carrots and stuff. And then the next morning, Norm went down to see how the rabbit was doing, and he said, "Who gave the rabbit raisins?" So he was about 5, and but he had to clean up the mess too. It was his rabbit.
He couldn't say his ours. He couldn't say his ours.
No. Well, he was just a little kid. Well, when he was even smaller, he didn't. He never spoke in sentences, and Selma was the interpreter. So I took him to the doctor to find out why he didn't talk. And the doctor said, why should he talk when his sister interprets for him? So after that, we knew how to handle him. So, yeah. Okay?
Yep.
It was a large rocker, and he crawled up on it, and he was rocking, and it was a bay window, and he smashed the window. And the landlord lived upstairs, and I went down up there very apologetically and said, I'll pay for the window. He says, sure you will. So, and then he always broke windows. He, when we lived on Muirland, the Selma had a toy wash tub,
Uh-huh.
and Norm had the front bedroom, and about 8 o'clock I heard a crash, and I didn't pay attention. I thought it was outside, and he thought he'd go to bed early. So he went to bed, and it was winter, and he had taken this little tub and thrown it through the window.
Why?
He just felt like it. And so I wanted to clobber him, but then he ducked me, and I thought, golly, I'm not going to hurt him. I was going after him like an animal goes after another animal. So I don't know why he did it, but maybe he just wanted to be funny. He was about 4. He was in a lot of mischief. Harold wanted to take Malva to New York to meet his parents. And so Harold was very nervous about it, but I told Dad that Harold's going to ask you to take Malva to New York. So we had a big fireplace, and Harold was smoking one cigarette after another and throwing them in the fireplace. And Dad had to get up early in the morning, but he was reading a paper, pretending he was reading, and it was after 10 o'clock. He says, for God's sakes, Harold, he says, take her and let me go to bed.
Then they got married while he was still in the service, right?
Yes, he was in service, but within a week, after he got married, we took him out the airport, and that was it. Went out to California, and
You couldn't plan the wedding because you didn't know when he'd be able to.
no, we didn't send out any invitations, and we just called up the people. I said, if Harold comes in, there'll be a wedding. And the same thing went for his parents. And his grandmother came, and his parents, and an aunt, and so that was it. I did all the preparing myself, because you couldn't get anybody the last minute. But they were supposed to get married in June.
Right.
And he couldn't get he didn't know if he could get the time off. So he got the time off, but I says, Harold, don't you come to Detroit. I didn't want Malva to know that they were supposed to get married, and it had to be postponed. Within a few days, we had to arrange a wedding. So that was it.
Then he got the job offer in Chicago.
At the he and your dad were working at the Arsenal, and this man offered Mr. Berg offered him the job, and it was quite a large salary. But he said, if your folks don't want me to go, I will not accept the job. So I spoke to Grandpa about it, and he said it might be a chance in a lifetime. And he says, and we'll always regret it. He says, let them go. And that's the way it worked out, that he got successful. And then he had his own plant afterwards. It's not Jennifer. And
Who?
Uncle Gus niece.
Uh-huh.
Jennifer was about, she was just starting to walk. and she he sneezed, and she said Besu. So then he sneezed again, and she again said Besu. So then he thought it was pretty good, and he put on an act of sneezing, but she thought enough is enough. She didn't bess him. Selma had a housekeeper, and when she was preparing dinner, and she took a knife to cut the lettuce, and Lisa says, "No, no, no." She wanted her to strip it, and then she called Lisa over. There was mushrooms, and she wanted to know how to. She was peeling the mushrooms, and again Lisa says, "No, no, no." And that's why Lisa's a good cook now.
How old was she then?
Well, they moved when she was about 2 or 3 years old. They moved all her swings and things from the backyard, and because Selma wanted her to have something that was familiar to her, and she called her slide a wee. But she would go down.
Wee. Let's see. When did they move to New Orleans?
Oh, Lisa was just a couple of years old.
They wanted her at the university?
What's his name that just, Molly called me, just died. He was her professor, and he called up Tulane and told her that Selma Freiberg was coming down, try to get her to teach. And they came to the house personally to speak to her, and she said she has a child and she don't want to leave her. And then the second time they came, she says, I'll put her in the, first I'll go to the nursery school and see what what their program is. And if I'm satisfied with it, I will put Lisa in it, and I'll only teach while she's in the nursery school. And I'll drive her myself and pick her up. And that's what she did until all the time she taught at Tulane. Lisa was, and of course, when Lisa got bigger, she then she felt more confident in leaving her at the school. But they used to have what they call a quiet hour, and the kids in the neighborhood would come over to Selma's house, and Selma would read to them. And so for the afternoon, I went to a dance, and they asked, one of the senior members of this club asked my mother if I could go to the dance. And my mother said she never goes anyplace unescorted. She says, don't worry about it. This woman answered, or this girl, there'll be plenty escorts. So I went to the dance with the girls, and my brothers told me that I had to be home by 10 o'clock. So it came 10 o'clock, and I went in the ladies' room and I was crying. And the woman that recommended that I come to the dance said, what's the matter? I says, it's 10 o'clock, I says, and nobody's asked me to take me home. She says, don't worry, Jack Horowitz works till 10 o'clock, and he'll be here and he'll take you all home. So then I, he didn't have a car, and all these girls lived in different directions. So we had to walk from downtown, where we must have walked about 3 miles. And we, I, they, we stopped in front of the house, and but they didn't wait to see if I got in. So they were. I tried the front door and it was locked. Barney said, if I'm not in by 10, they're going to lock the door. Barney kept his word. So I ran around the corner, and my mother was at the back door, and I said, I've been outside a half an hour and trying to get in, and the front door is locked. She says, can't you still hear them hollering, good night, Dorella? They were singing, good night, Dorella, good night, Dorella. So then the next day they wanted me to come to this meeting, and some fellow asked me for my telephone number. And he says, oh gosh, I don't have a pencil. He says, Jack, do you have a pencil? He says, I sure do. So he took pencil and paper out of his pocket, and he wrote down the telephone number and put the slip in his own pocket. And then he called me the next day. He had tickets for the theater, and would I go to the theater with him? Well, we were having dinner, and the brothers were all sitting around the table, and my mother said, who is this fellow? Who is this family and everything? And finally, I convinced her that it was all right to go. So we went by streetcar downtown to the theater.
Where was the theater then?
The Temple.
Oh.
He had season tickets. And then after, we used to go every time there was a new play. And then after that, he gave up the Temple. And so Barney says, sure, now that when I got engaged, he gave it up. And he says, now that he's got you, he doesn't have to go to the Temple. Yeah.
Where was he working when you got married?
Where was I working?
Yeah.
Where was Grandpa working?
On the, at Ford's. When Ford's were, at that time, were paying $5 a day. On the strength of those wages, we got married.
What shift was he working?
Well, he, the midnight shift paid $6. So we switched to the midnight shift.
Wow.
He got $6 a day for that, or $6 a night.
What was downtown Detroit like when you were 17?
We walked there all the time. I walked to work
Uh-huh.
from where we lived.
Well, I mean, like, was Woodward was paved?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at that time.
But there was no traffic lights,
Uh-huh.
and I was afraid to. Jail Hudson Company was on the corner. Well, the building is still there, but I was afraid to cross, and I used to go way down near Adams to cross the street because the traffic was slower there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a horse and wagons, very few automobiles.
You don't get run over by a horse.
Well, I got run over by a bicycle.
Yeah.
It knocked me down.
Oh, tell me about when Jerome, his bicycle. No, well, Jerome had a bike, and because of that, my dad.
Well, Jerome had a bike. He got it from the grandparents for his bar mitzvah.
Uh-huh.
And then it came, but he got into a little bit of accidents with it,
Uh-huh.
and I was afraid. And so they wanted to get Norm a bicycle when he was bar mitzvahed, and I said no, I didn't want him to have a bicycle because I was afraid of, so he wanted one very badly, and I was wrong in refusing him one. So, but he didn't have it. I guess he grew up without the bike.
Jerome was always getting in trouble, huh?
Yeah.
One thing after another.
Yeah, he we lived on Muirland near the U.D. and it was a single house, and I had a playroom for the kids upstairs.
Uh-huh.
And Jerome came over to visit. He lived walking distance, and some neighbor kid called him a dirty Jew, and Jerome threw him down, and the kid broke his arm. So the neighbors, they wanted to know who that boy was. I said I didn't know. He came from somewhere else. But I told Jerome, don't come back to my house anymore.